Hi Carlos, we are the Accounting 4400 team tasked with creating your balanced scorecard. We will be starting with the finance section, then customers, IBP and learning and growth.
That's great, Mrs. Smith. I'm excited to meet your team, and I look forward to working with them.
Great. Let's get started.
Thank you, Carlos. Now let's get started with the balanced scorecard.
Okay, so for the financial portion of the balanced scorecard, we have three main objectives. The first one obviously is to grow revenue across all our product lines. Any profit company is going to want to grow the profit across all product lines, but our goal is to grow the profit of both our X1 and X2 products. Our second objective is to improve our cost structure. That means eliminating certain activities that may not be useful in creating our product. We've noticed that there's a significant amount of activities that go into producing the X1 and X2. We want to make sure that each activity is a value-added activity. Thirdly, we want to make sure that we allocate costs to the appropriate products. Because previously we only had the X1, it was very easy to allocate all costs to the product. But now we have the X2 and the X1, we need to make sure that we're allocating to the appropriate product and we can appropriately price both products. In terms of measures, we're going to compare our gross profit before and after ABC. This means after we've allocated the costs to the X1 and the X2, we can determine a more appropriate gross margin than we did previously. Secondly, we have our customer profitability. We want to make sure that we're targeting the profitable customers and not just targeting any customer. Lastly, we want to make sure that our operating costs have decreased overall, and this is mostly linked to the improvement of the cost structure and in eliminating certain activities that may not be value added. In terms of targets, we want to make sure that we have a positive gross margin. We've always had a positive gross margin, but until recently, in the introduction of the X2, the X1 has suffered a negative gross margin, so we want to bring that back up to a positive level. Secondly, we want to eliminate all unprofitable customers. We obviously don't want to have any customers that are charging too much or that are demanding too much from us, and we want to make sure that all our customers are at a respectable level of profitability. Lastly, in terms of the initiatives, we want to focus our resources on revenue-generating segments only. That means targeting the customers that really don't demand too much of us, but we're able to make a reasonable profit from them. Secondly, we're going to eliminate all non-value-added activities, so we're going to develop a list of the various activities that go into producing the X1 and the X2, and eliminate those activities that don't really add any value to the product. Lastly, or thirdly, we're going to use ABC. Obviously, we're going to make sure that we allocate the various overhead costs to the appropriate products. That way we can determine how much we should price these products at. So lastly, we are going to reprice our products overall after ABC and make sure that it's competitive with the market and we ourselves can make a reasonable profit out of this. At the end, if one product is not profitable, we may eliminate it, but it all depends on whether our ABC costing analysis will provide us with a more accurate measure of the different costs.
As the VP Sales of Entirosoft has indicated, the sales team has been very dissatisfied with servicing demanding customers as well as incurring skyrocketing costs. So it is important for us to screen out unprofitable retailers. We will measure this by looking at the profit contribution per retailer. Our target is to eliminate any unprofitable retailers and reducing the dissatisfaction within the sales team. To do so, we will conduct quarterly review of retailers' profitability by using the customer profitability analysis. Moving on to our second objective, to acquire new retailers. It is important for Entirosoft to acquire new retailers because they are highly dependent on the three current ones, which is Staples, Canada Computers, and FutureShop. By acquiring new retailers, we are able to expand the brand's reach as well to increase the sales growth. Our measure is to look at the lifetime value of new customers acquired. Our target is to have a 5% sales growth within the next year, and our initiative is conducting consumer research to better understand where customers shop for their laptops and sending out proposals to those retailers that are good. Moving on to our third objective, which is to provide excellent service. It is important for us to provide excellent service to better understand our retailers and to better help us to reduce the servicing costs. Our measure is to survey retailers to better understand what they want and what they need so that we are able to cut back on the costs that they don't need and that we are able to provide services for things that they do want. Our target is to reduce servicing costs to below the limit budget of $45,000. And our initiative is to conduct a value-added analysis to eliminate non-value-added activities.
For inventory management,
Our goal is to have better tracking, handling, and management of goods and materials in stock. In order to do so, our measurement will be the storage cost and the carrying cost, and we intend to reduce it by 50%. And our initiative will be just-in-time inventory in order to reduce the amount of in-process inventory and the associated carrying cost. For production process efficiency, currently, Entirosoft have more than 13 activities, and our goal is to improve it by reducing and take off any low value added activities. And by doing so, we can achieve our target by reducing the overhead cost by 2%. And the initiative is to review our current production process and eliminate or outsource any low value added activities.
In order to achieve the learning and growth perspective, talent retention is very important in the laptop and computer industry because a lot of the engineers who work for Entirosoft has the knowledge on the patents and also the technology that our laptop is based on. So it's very important to keep these talents to reduce our company cost. And two measures to measure talent retention is satisfaction percentage as well as turnover rate. Our target is to keep satisfaction at 98% and to keep turnover rate below 2% in order to be sustainable. And our initiatives to achieve this approach is to have competitive monetary salaries as well as other non-monetary incentives such as work-life balance and also giving them the ownership in the tasks that they do by giving them the opportunities to come up with their own innovations. The second objective is R&D contribution. In the laptop industry, the demand for continuous innovative products are always changing and consumer demands are shifting to more innovative products. So R&D is very important in our business as well. Two measures that we'll be measuring this objective is to look at the R&D teams and as well as innovations. Our target, we're trying to keep it at 25% of our workforce. So if we have 100 employees, 25 of these employees or engineers will be in the R&D team. And we're also trying to have 2 or 3 new innovations being implemented every year, and that can be any new laptops or any new features that's added onto our existing laptops. To achieve this, we will first have an R&D team composed, and we'll also have weekly meetings scheduled for them to meet with the managers, as well as the so-called Innovation Friday, where on every Friday they have their own choice of innovations that they would like to work. With this, I would like to conclude our presentation on the balanced scorecard. It is necessary to understand that financial objective isn't the only perspective that should be focused on, but rather our business should look at consumers, should look at learning and growth, and as well as the internal business process in order to sustain our business and to be competitive in the industry. Thank you for listening to our presentation. I hope our balanced scorecard helps you to improve your business and make it more sustainable in the market.